Brown.
If you're new, subscribe. If you're a returner, I appreciate you coming back always. Again, algorithm is whooping my ass. I don't understand why. If shit goes on for another month, bro, we're just gonna make another YouTube channel. We're gonna have to go follow that one or subscribe to that one. But anyways, we're gonna figure it out. So today what we're gonna talk about is crafting your pitch. So how do you explain to somebody who you are? How do you tell somebody very quickly about your personal brand, your personal story, like we talked about a couple videos ago? But anyways, before we start that, bro, I want you to understand, stop saying what you could have been. Stop saying what you used to do. Like, let's start the video there. Stop doing that, bro. The shit where you like, yo, I used to. I could have been. I could have went D1. I could have been in the NFL. I could have been a doctor. I could have been an entrepreneur. I could have been this. Shut the f up. No one wants to hear what you could have done. People want to hear what you are currently doing. If it gives you a sort of satisfaction or relief to talk about shit of the past, bro, you need to do that shit in your own space. And matter of fact, realistically, that shit shouldn't even pop up in your own space. You need to figure out how to be and become who you want to be on a day-to-day basis. So you need to make accomplishments every single day. You cannot always lean on your successes of yesterday, because that shit's not gonna work in today's time. You can't say, oh, I could have, oh, I should have, oh, I did, oh, I used to. Right? That's past tense shit. Leave it in the past. And it's great that you've done those things or you accomplished these feats that used to be magnificent to some degree, but now, bro, it's time to step it up a notch. It's time for you to get right. You know what I mean? It's time for you to take everything that you used to do and implement it into your day-to-day and now become a new human being / new version. And so a tip before we even get into the meat and bones of this conversation is, I want you to take 3 months. Every 3 months, right? You should be changing. Every 3 months. If you strive for intentional change every 3 months, the core beliefs, your morals, your values, your goals may not change, right? But the way that you execute the things that you know you need to do will change, right? So maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you want to implement reading more. Maybe you want to go and do something adventurous every month, right? Change something about you. Make your general understanding of life, the box that we talked about again a few videos ago, expand it. You want to expand that box, right? Because when people meet you and they start to hang around you for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, they're going to start to understand who you are to a degree, right? And so if you hit a 3-month period with somebody, they should then question who the fuck you are because you weren't that 3 months ago. And it should be in a positive light. Should be you're changing all the time. You're looking for new ways to reinvent yourself. You become so much more valuable, versatile, durable. You're going to put yourself through so many instances and experiences where you're going to have to stretch your mind, stretch your body, stretch your understanding of the world, right? And your perspective. And then that will only give you the wisdom and knowledge to then pass on to somebody else, right? So think about that for a little bit. But what I really wanted to talk to you about was how to craft your pitch. How do you explain to people who you are, right? How do you make sure people within the first minute of meeting you are intrigued and excited to help you get to your goal? The elements of a good pitch really lie within how quickly you can articulate yourself, which means you need to do it with speed, but it needs to be efficiently done, but it also needs to be adequate. Like, you need someone to understand exactly what your vision is when it comes out of your mouth, right? How excited can you get somebody about your goal or about your vision? So realistically, when I'm telling my pitch to somebody, I want to hear one of two things. I want to hear, oh, that could never happen. Right? Because that means that it's so grandiose that in their brain, right? And depending on what crowd you sit amongst, you'll understand that their brain may not have the capacity to see the vision as you do. It shouldn't. But you want to hear it. At least you know that these high caliber people think that this thing is so grandiose that it can't be done, right? That's good because it's never been done. Hello, you want to hear that, right? Or you want to hear, oh shit, that's very interesting. How can I help you? Right? Those are the two things that you want to hear. Never, I really want to help you because it's exciting. It sounds like something I really want to drop my network into. And see, that's why networking is such a big thing, because when you start to refine your pitch to a point where you can explain it to somebody really quickly and they get excited or turned off, they will either open up their network to you or tell you no. Right? And that's perfectly fine. But when you get those ones who are very interested and want to then have coffee to talk about your vision, or then want to go golfing again with you to talk about your vision, that's what you want, because then it opens up their network to you. And what do you need? You need key players to help you execute on this vision. This vision can't be executed by you alone, bro. It can't. It just won't. Like you might go a far away. You might go a really far away really quickly by yourself, but you're not going to be able to sustain it, bro. I promise you. You're going to need key players and people of influence to help you push and continue to go forward and execute on this goal in its totality. Right? So those are really the elements that you really want to you want to get across. Of course, the public speaking of getting over your fears to talking to people is a thing, but the elements to a good pitch are, yes, you want to figure out how to explain it at a quick rate, right? A quick rate of speed, with also being very clear about what you're about to do. And then 2, you're looking for a yes or a no towards what someone just heard. Right? Did they hear something that they can get down with and open up their network, or are they going to shut you down and say, no, that's too big, that's too grandiose, you're not going to get that done? Right? Either way, you're hearing yeses because you understand that your goals are right where you need them to be. You want to hear no's. You want to hear that's impossible. That's where all of the great shit lies, above what the average thinking people, and even the above average thinking people, you want it to be on that other side of the bell curve, that very, very extreme. You want your vision to lie right there, because that's where the greatest things get done. That's where technology improves. That's where societal norms then gravitate to, which then what does that do? When societal norms gravitate to a product or a service or an invention or an idea that you have, you are then the former founder of that idea, which then brings what? Revenue. That's what it's about. Right? So push yourself to think a little deeper. If you have an idea and a vision and people are always saying, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's good. Question yourself, because you want to hear no. You want to hear that's never been done. That's never possible. That's not right. You want to hear that. You want to hear that. It's good to have yes. It's good to have yeses, but you don't want it to be a yes man thing where it's like so easy to say yes that who the fuck, anybody, a commoner, can do it. Delivering your pitch with confidence. So this is why you must fully understand and commit to what you're about to say to somebody. You need to fully believe it and be that. This is why I talk about creating your identity around the vision that you have for your life. Figure out that. That video that we put out yesterday about finding the vision of your life, it will help you be confident as you come into and talk to strangers about this vision. So you have to fully commit to it, right? If you want to be a physical trainer, right? If you want to be a PT, you need to be in shape. 1, that means you fully believe in being in shape, right? Next, you need to walk up to people with the understanding that, yo, physical training helps you in such and such and such ways, right? And ingrain that. Worse, you need to be living it out. So all of the things that you say are going to help people, you should have already done. You should already have an understanding. Your foot should be, you should almost be like neck deep in the understanding. And even if you're not neck deep, but you should be striving to get as much knowledge in that sector as possible, right? So you have to fully commit. Jump off the deep end, right? Jump into the deep end. Don't be shallow and play with it. If this is the sector that you know you want to be in and this is what your vision lies around, then be that. Become that. Be a beacon of that. People need to see you and say, oh shit, yeah, he's of something. And as soon as you open up your mouth, exactly what you're saying is then, it almost confirms and affirms the fact of what people saw from afar to exactly what you want them to see. So if you're a PT, you want to be built, you want to be put together, you want to have some sort of stature, you want to smell good, look good, speak well, and all of these things, just so that when people see you from afar, they're like, oh shit, he's built, he got the right clothes on, he put together, damn, how do I get like that? Then when you walk up to them and you explain to them what you do and how you want to do it in life, they're like, oh shit, I didn't think second, I didn't doubt that. Right? So you want zero room for doubt when it comes to people. So make sure your image is on point, the way in the sector that you are. So if you're an artist, hey, you should have your artistry stuff on, right? Maybe you have a little smears of paint on your hands. Maybe you have a palette in your car of paint that you want to do. So it just depends on what sector you want to be in, but it should be consistent across all parts of your life. The next way to just be confident is just to watch your body tone. If your body language is low, right? If you're having a bad day, you need to figure out how to always sit back with your shoulders back, your chest open, and be comfortable with speaking to people. Right? At the bare minimum. This is past the image, this is past the understanding of whatever sector you're in. You want to, at the bare minimum, the foundation of confidence is sitting with your chest open, your shoulders back, and you speaking very profound about the things that you care about. Don't be scared to drop passion into the things that you speak about. When I speak to people, I will get very passionate, and I have no fear, simply because it's not a threat. I'm not threatening you with passion. I'm giving you the passion that I feel so deeply about what I'm talking about, which will give people the understanding that, damn, he really cares about what he's talking about. Then if you follow it with your image being on point, and then also all of the products and services with testimonials and stuff like that in your back pocket to prove that you are who you say you are, bro, you're good. You're a done deal. Everyone will understand and trust you. The biggest thing you want to do is that confidence, so that it forms trust. If you give off and exude confidence, people are going to trust you because you clearly know what you're talking about and you're very passionate about it, which means you've done your time and your work within that sector, which means why wouldn't I trust his vision, right? A lot of people don't have vision, bro. You got to understand that. The majority of people in his life have zero vision for what they want to do in their life, simply because they have bowed down to the societal norms. And if you are that visionary, you are that one who's speaking out, people are going to want to listen. And all you need to do is captivate them enough for them to sit there and say, yes, I am on board with that. You feel me? Like that's literally all it takes to make the pitch get in and seep down into people's brains. Lastly is making sure that your pitch is then correctly catered to a specific audience, right? So my main audience is men. I speak very aggressively. I don't give a fuck about the curse words. I don't give a shit about this, that, the third. If I was speaking to a different demographic, though, if you're speaking to younger children, can you have a 6-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old understand the same message? That's the thing you have to hone in on, because great speakers can then change the way that they speak towards dependent on different audiences. So you have to understand that the next thing is tailoring that pitch so that no matter who you come across, right? Woman, child, woman, or man, doesn't matter how old, doesn't matter where they are mentally, spiritually, you can still speak about the things that you care about so deeply, right? So cater your pitch and tailor it to the point where you can speak to anybody about it and know how to change it on the fly. Because if you're speaking to a guy, right? And this is probably like, this is maybe a little bit more advanced, but you may be put in these positions. Maybe you're speaking to a high level exec, right? In a coffee shop, right? His child, and you've explained your pitch to him, right? His child runs out, grabs daddy's leg, maybe, right? And then the kid, who knows, good manners, maybe not, maybe the dad introduces the kid to you, right? You can then shake your hand and tell the kid what you were just talking to his father about. In layman terms, you don't need to be all crazy and rah-rah, but you need to explain to the kid maybe just to show, and all it does is it proves that what you're saying and what you're doing is very consistent, because you don't stumble when it comes to a different challenge. You've practiced this pitch. You understand this pitch, ins and outs of it. You know how to sway somebody's emotions. You know how to understand when a different human being has walked into the situation, how to explain this at a different level, because that human is maybe different. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's the guy's wife. Maybe it's the guy's friend. Maybe it's the cashier that then questions, hey, well, I overheard you talking to that guy. What was that about? And you explain it to them, even though they may not understand it if you go crazy into it, but you can dumb it down enough, make it a little bit more easy to palate, and explain it to anybody, right? So that's the point. Tailor your pitch to people, no matter the age, no matter the audience that you have. Because the better you are at explaining your pitch to different people in different demographics, the better you are and more versatile you are when it comes to these one-off instances. Maybe at the golf course, maybe you're at lunch, maybe you're in the store, maybe whatever. You don't know what life will throw at you. Sometimes you could be in a fucking Trader Joe's and somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I like those shoes. and you say, yeah, bang, and then you relate the shoes back to your vision. Next thing you know, you're in Trader Joe's for 10 minutes talking to somebody you just met. Then you never know, he then's connected you to somebody else because he had great conversation with you off of a 10-minute conversation in a Trader Joe's on a random fucking Sunday. Bro, you got to think about these things. They're real. So tailor your pitch, understand it, right? Work on the elements of your pitch. So understand how to make it very clear to people. Lead it with confidence, right? And being able to explain it to anybody that comes across you at any point in life, right? Because life, again, will throw you these interesting bones. And as long as you know that that's an opportunity to excel or explain it to somebody or take your vision to the next step, you will be perfectly fine, bro. Right? So work on those things and see how far you get. And even if you need to practice it in the mirror, do so. If you don't have somebody or you're too nervous to get outside first, bro, do it in the mirror for a little bit. Once you get past the mirror, then you go take it out onto the streets. After the streets, take it into an executive board. After the executive board, then just start to spew it to everybody. You should know this pitch like the back of your hand, bro. That's it. If you don't have a pitch, hit that link in the description. It'll give you a free ebook, and I will then message you personally about how to help you with your pitch. Boy, Mr. Brown.